What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our series of Star Wars reviews. My name is Tom, that's Ali, and this is our review of Return of the Jedi, the 6th episode, originally the 3rd episode.
Let's not get into it.
I
had to explain this to somebody at a pub. I still don't think she's
At a pub?
Yeah. I party.
Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is my favourite Star Wars movie of all time. That might change until The Last Jedi.
I'm so excited for that.
Which we can no longer refer to this movie as just Jedi anymore. Because when you say, hey, what about Jedi? Like, Last Jedi or Return of the Jedi?
We're gonna have to say return now?
Yeah, Return and Last.
Are they trying to just mess up how we say things in these movies?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Empire Strikes Back doesn't have the Star Wars title in front of it. It's just called Empire Strikes Back. So, yes. So, here's the question for you. Are you pro-Ewok or are you anti-Ewok?
For me, personally? Well, look. I mean, for what they're used for in the film, I don't think they work. But as a concept, they're fine. And the early scenes with them are great. I'm
pro-Ewok on all accounts. I'm pro-Ewok, I'm pro-Porg, I'm anti-Jar Jar. So, you know...
I think you're in the majority.
In the majority, yeah. Yeah. And I don't have this, deep hatred for Jar Jar either. I don't like him, but it doesn't make me want to kill myself. So I'm going to get into this Ewok thing because, I have arguments with people a lot about Ewoks. People hate them. They're like, oh, they're useless little fuzzy teddy bears, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, watch Return of the Jedi. Ewoks are vicious. They were ready to burn Han, Luke at the stake alive.
They were going to eat them.
And eat their flesh. They played the drums on the heads of 7 stormtroopers. They're cute and cuddly, but they will kill you. And they will eat you.
I mean, yes, but they take out the stormtroopers in their armor, which admittedly is not effective, but it should still be effective against small arrows.
I do agree that's a bit ridiculous, but I get what they were going for in that, it's this whole thing of the technological, army versus just nature, I guess.
I mean, I can see what they're doing with it, and
it was supposed to be Wookiees initially, and George Lucas was like, we can't afford to do Wookiees.
I would have loved to see the Wookiee planet. Kashyyyk.
Although I do love that he went back in Revenge of the Sith and did it there, but...
Yeah.
And I think that was better because the technology had improved and all of that, but I'm totally 100% behind the Ewoks. I get it's a bit ridiculous, that whole fight, but I love that fight. And I love the whole, you got the Endor battle, you've got the space battle, and then you got Luke versus Vader in the throne room, all happening at once. And the way it cuts between all 3 of those, it's perfect. It's awesome. It builds to a perfect sort of climax, and then you get a happy ending. That's how I live my life.
No, that's fair. That is fair.
That's my love life. That's built to a perfect climax, and then it has a happy ending. Okay,
well, I mean, you remember in the last video we talked about how in Empire, Carrie Fisher and Han no, his name is Han Solo. Yeah.
Han.
No, I was just it's not even Harrison Ford.
It's not even Harrison Ford.
It's Han Solo.
It's Han Solo.
How they have their best performances in Empire. Well, I think that Mark Hamill gives his best performance in Return of the Jedi.
Ooh, really?
I mean, those early scenes where he's just an absolute badass.
Choking out pigs.
Yeah. I mean, this could change. I absolutely think that he will top himself
in The Last Jedi.
In The Last Jedi, yeah. I think he'll be great. But as of right now, I think that Return of the Jedi has Mark Hamill's best performance as Luke Skywalker.
I can't pick. I'm struggling between Empire and Jedi for this because, I mean, he's layered in both. It's so many. I mean, in this one you've got Yoda's death scene, and Luke's amazing in that, and you got the whole thing with the Emperor, which is awesome. But I love his cockiness in the Jabba scene.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just gonna, if you don't hand them over, you're gonna die, because I'm Luke Skywalker. So now look, the people crap on the special edition changes to Jedi, and I don't agree with all of them, but I like that song that they put in Jabba's palace. Yeah, I don't like
catchy.
I don't like the look of the aliens in that scene, but I like the song.
You mean you don't love that this alien woman has just come up to you?
The lips, you get the close up of her lips. It's really like it's. I like the song itself, like just listening to the track.
Yeah.
Because it's groovy, but other than that, like the aliens look horrendous. But Boba Fett's in that scene, and I love the way he just nods at Leia when she's pretending to be the bounty hunter who captures Chewie. You get the nod of respect. Here's a question: why didn't Luke use the Force on the Rancor? He used the bone and wedged it in the thing's mouth. Why didn't he just Rancor don't want to kill me? Like, choke him out or something. I don't know.
I don't think I mean, I shouldn't say. I don't think there's an answer for that, because he could have done, even if it was a small thing, he should have been using some of his Force powers in that.
I mean, I get maybe story reasons you kind of want,
It's in the script.
It's in the script.
That's another part of Star Wars. Like, in general, the original trilogy has aged really well, but when they do big monsters in any movie, often you'll look back like 10, 20, like 30 years later and be like...
I think Jedi's probably aged the worst out of the 3 originals.
Oh yeah, it probably has. But the Rancor still looks really good.
It still looks awesome. I love that his owner comes in and he's crying.
Yeah, and that guy gets like a whole backstory. Like, and he
everyone in Star Wars has a name.
Yeah. I
and a 1,000-page,
actually.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he has a name and probably grew up with the Rancor.
I think,
Probably raised it from birth,
One of the interesting things, though, since you brought up special editions, was that the stuff where he's... So you know how in the original one, he drops her into the pit with the Rancor and then you see nothing... Dancer. He drops the Dancer into the pit with the Rancor and you don't really see anything else of her?
Yes.
Well, in the extended edition, the extended scene that he put in, I thought that it was just a scene that had been cut. But what
she's down there.
No, but what he did was he got the actress back 15 years later and was like, okay, let's just take it from the top.
And she's still, like, really attractive. I saw an interview with her. She's gorgeous. Now.
I mean, I was just impressed that I didn't notice. She looked exactly the same.
Well, because she was like a teenager then.
Oh, yes, but still, like, I was very shocked when I found that out.
Yeah, and, like, you can't tell.
No.
Like, that it's different. There's no...
That's one of the most successful inserts for the original trilogy that George Lucas did.
Oh, by far. Yeah. Because
doesn't take away from the story.
No.
It's great.
No. And,
you don't need it, but it's good.
Well, you know why? Because he couldn't shoot her on a green screen because she's green.
Oh, that makes sense.
He probably had to, like, have the actual wall back, like, build an actual wall again and put her in front of it.
Poor guy.
Because, I know, he had to spend his billions of dollars. Poor George Lucas losing money. Look, that I gotta talk about the Emperor fight.
Yeah.
It's Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor. He's so good.
Yeah. I love how this is the case for the prequels as well. He just hams it up to 11 and it's great.
I thought in the prequels he was a bit, especially in Sith, he was a bit over the top. It was a bit too ridiculous with it. Like and I like it. I love it. I think it's funny. But
as with always, George Lucas can't direct actors.
Faster and more intense, yeah.
Yeah. But I just think he gives one of the best performances in the whole saga as the Emperor.
Oh.
And Palpatine. He does.
Yeah, I mean, his best one is definitely in this movie.
Yeah.
That whole, like, when he said that line about, your friends. Like, brilliant delivery.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm afraid the deflector shield will be quite operational when your friends arrive. Like the whole, like he's so sarcastic,
Yeah.
so deliciously evil. It's like you want more of that.
Yeah, and you can see he's just enjoying just every moment of this.
So be it, Jedi. Like and Luke, you know, that moment Luke's standing there. You know, I'll never, and he throws his lightsaber away, I'll never turn to the dark side. And that's the one argument that I have against people who are like, Luke could go to the dark side in episode 7 or 8. And I'm like, no, because he's been through the test. I mean, not that you couldn't ever be tempted again, I guess, but he's already he's already made the choice.
Yeah.
He's already faced that demon, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to turn him to the dark side. I think a lot of things are going to happen with Luke in Last Jedi, but I don't think they're going to have him turn to the dark side.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. He might not be a Jedi anymore, but that doesn't mean he's not on the dark side.
Yeah.
So, you know, now, special edition change that I hate in Jedi.
Okay.
I hate it. And it didn't bug me at first because at first I didn't notice the change until someone pointed it out. When the Emperor is torturing Luke with the lightning, and he looks at the Emperor, and then he looks at Luke, he looks at so in the original, Vader didn't say anything. He just, you know, he was just deciding, he was like looking back and forth. In the special edition, no,
God.
no, and then he throws the Emperor down. It's like, oh God, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. And wouldn't the Emperor hear him say no and be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
They just love having Vader scream no.
I actually just think George Lucas has an obsession with the word. Like, because it's everywhere in Star Wars. Luke screaming at Empire. Even before the prequels, Luke screaming at Empire, no, that's not true, no! Like, it's, you know, Vader, no, I am your father. Like, it's everywhere.
George Lucas's first word was no.
I hate that change because it just
takes away from the scene. It's
because you got the music there. You don't need Vader saying no to add a dramatic effect. You already know what's going through his head just by him looking back and forth.
Exactly.
Because of the body language, and then when he does, you know, he picks up the Emperor and throws him down the thing. You know, without him saying anything, that's a shock to the Emperor.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, this is something that you could probably level at all of the Star Wars movies to a degree, except maybe for Force Awakens, but that's another thing, where they'll kind of try to explain too much in little bits of dialogue, like, just, we get it. I mean, it doesn't, this is another reason why I love Empire. Empire doesn't do that. New Hope doesn't really either, but this one and the prequels, they have a tendency.
You can sort of see in this movie, even though it is my favourite, you can see where Lucas started to just get a bit too ridiculous with the ideas. It gets a bit cheesy, and I tell you something I would have liked to have seen more of in this. This is a criticism of Jedi. Again, it's my favourite, but this is a review, so I'm going to criticise it. When Luke says to Leia, you know, my father has it, I have it, my sister has it, and that's you. And, you know, she goes, Vader's your father, like this. But she doesn't have that moment of, oh God, he's my father too. Oh shit. She doesn't have that moment of,
there's so much.
The fuck? She should have like broken down at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's so much disservice done to. I think Leia and Han get short-changed in Return of the Jedi.
I mean, she says that line about somehow I've always known. It's like, okay, but so have you always known that somehow Luke's your brother, or have you somehow, or does that mean that you also have always known that Vader's your father?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like, the thing is, they never really pick up again the fact that Leia has the Force, like in the film itself. Obviously,
no, it's never explained.
They've never do anything with it. I'm just like, so, what did you actually have a plan that was scrapped in the later half of the movie for Leia? Because you just kind of leave that dangling there and you don't do anything with it, Lucas. Like, shouldn't he and Leia be training together if she possibly has the Force? Isn't that a plot point?
Well, okay, this doesn't relate to the movies, but I mean, in the,
she's Force sensitive.
Yes, no, she definitely is. That's explained in the movies, but like, I know in some of the recent canon novels and comics and things, Yoda, it was revealed Yoda wanted to train Leia from day one. And for some reason, Obi-Wan was like, no, we're training Luke. And for some reason, Yoda just took a back seat and went, yeah, alright. Like, you know what I mean? Like, surely Yoda outranks Obi-Wan in that situation. But I love I love the canon, the new canon material, the novels and the comics. They're filling in bits and pieces where, you know, Leia says in Jedi, like, I remember my mother, just images, and then they filled that in a comic where she had a force back and saw Padme, and there was other bits in there as well about like Yoda's blanket on his bed is Qui-Gon's cloak, which I think is really cool. I think I think Jedi was where it really became apparent to everyone that Vader is the main character. It's not Luke. And I think I mentioned this in our review for the Revenge of the Sith. But that whole thing with Vader, you know, Luke's up on the ceiling of the Emperor's throne room, and Vader's saying, if you will not fight, you will meet your destiny, and he threw the lightsaber up at him. You could look at that as if Vader learnt his lesson about the high ground. Because, you know, he threw the lightsaber, he didn't try and jump up.
That's true.
And, you know, there are several points in that fight where Luke is, you know, up the top of the steps and Vader's down the bottom, and Vader doesn't try and do anything stupid. I mean, obviously Revenge of the Sith wasn't written then, but, like, I'm just saying, you could actually look at Revenge of the Sith and then look at Jedi and go, yeah, he kind of did actually, you could see how he learned his lesson. You're like, I'm not losing my hands again. And he does lose a hand in Jedi.
This final scene between him and Luke, it's so well acted.
The death scene.
The death scene. On Mark Hamill's part more so than the actor playing Vader, because we don't have the emotional investment in his face. I'll put it like that. I care about the character.
I do remember seeing Jedi for the first time, and as that mask is coming off, being just terrified of what might be under there.
And that's what I love about it, because.
But then it's just the reveal. He's just a fat old bald guy with eyebrows.
I'm glad that's a good change that George Lucas did, getting rid of those eyebrows.
Yeah. People hate that change.
Really?
Yeah.
It makes sense though.
Well, technically his eyebrows would grow back.
And his hair didn't.
No, I guess so, yeah. I don't know, I've never been that badly burned. I don't know whether if you're that badly burned, does hair grow back? I don't know. Put that in the comments if you're a burn victim and you...
I rewatched it a while ago now with somebody, and she'd never seen it, and I was sitting there, and we were watching that scene together, and she was into it, she was reacting, but I was like, I'm actually really emotionally, I feel kind of emotional right now.
Yeah.
And it's not really a sensation I'd ever thought of, or, you know, consciously thought about when I watched the scene, but I think as you grow up and you're watching these movies so much, you see that kind of stuff and you're like, I get it now.
I think, like, people, we crap on the prequels, but I mean, they do add to that.
Yeah, they do.
If you've watched the prequels and then you watch, like, and then the original trilogy, you get to the end of Jedi, you're like, man, it gives you the feel. You're like, I've seen what this guy's been through. Like Vader, I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
And speaking of the prequels in Jedi, I defend the Hayden Christensen Force Ghost. I don't like his creepy smile in there, but I defend putting him in there. I do understand the logic behind it.
Oh, yeah,
whereas, like, oh, well, you know, we only saw old guy Anakin for one scene. So it does make sense that he be the young man that we knew.
I think the main problem is that, I mean, because people say as the logic, I know, first of all, I do understand the logic of putting him in there. That's fairly sound. But one thing that people do point out is that even though it is a return, so to speak, so before he was corrupted, he gets his redemption at the end anyway. So it makes sense that we would still see the old guy. And it's not like Obi-Wan, we don't see him as Ewan McGregor.
No. I also think either way it does make sense no matter which version and which actor of Anakin they put there.
It doesn't matter to me.
But either way it works. And I like that title of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It's not really Luke, it's Anakin. I mean, really, it could be either one, but to me, it's been, well, that's about Anakin.
No, I agree. When you look at it, if you look at the titles of the original trilogy, now this would not have been intentional, but only one of them actually refers to Luke. If we go by your theory, A New Hope, we can say that's Luke.
Yeah.
Empire, obviously not about him, and
Jedi is Anakin.
Yeah, I think it's very clear that it's just a story of a father and son.
Yeah, it's a soap opera in space.
Yeah. The Skywalker's just fucking everything up.
The one family fucking everything up, and that's why it's time for the Skywalkers to end. Yeah. So I mean, I also love that I like Yub-Nub, I do, but I didn't grow up with Yub-Nub.
Yeah.
I think the first time I watched Jedi was with the victory celebration.
The victory celebration's better. I'm just gonna say it.
I do love that theme, and I love that they put in, they're going around to different planets. And you see Coruscant, you see Naboo.
Yeah, that's a great change. I like that.
I love that because it really ties the prequels in
a way
to some people's dismay, but
yeah, but it does it in a way that's not obtrusive.
No, it
works.
Yeah, the only bit that takes away from it is when you go to Naboo, and you pointed this out to me, that you can hear Jar Jar.
I'm sorry.
We saw win.
There's a scene, I think, I've talked to you about this as well, where so C-3PO is like telling stories to all of the Ewoks, and they're just sitting there like this.
It's cool.
It's so good, and it's just recounting all of the stuff that they've done over the last 2 movies, and I was like, I actually just feel so blessed right now. You really just feel like all of these characters know each other and have known each other for years and have this really strong familial bond with each other.
Yeah.
And it's a really great relationship that they've formed over these movies.
I just love some of the back, like the behind the scenes stories about they weren't sure Harrison was going to return. So that's part of the reason why he's in Carbonite at the start of the movie, and then they were like, okay, well, he's returning, so now we got to put in this thing about him coming out of Carbonite and all that. I mean, and again, with Empire, if Yoda doesn't work, the movie doesn't work. If Jabba the Hutt doesn't work,
yeah.
and I love his death scene. I think it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
But when that tongue comes out, when Leia first shows up and he does that.
Yeah.
You can feel it. Like you can smell it almost watching it. You're like,
the character design on him is so impressive.
It took like 10 guys to operate that giant puppet.
I can believe that. And he's so grotesque, and you can just imagine, even though logically he probably feels just like rubber, but when you look at him in the film, you're just like, that is a giant slug.
And he has snot around his mouth.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I love that Jabba, we've seen it through, if you watch the Clone Wars and that, that Jabba isn't scared of Jedi. No. Jedi Sith, that doesn't bother him. I mean, there's a thing in the Clone Wars where Darth Maul confronts Jabba, and Jabba is not scared. So I love when Luke shows up and he's like, yeah, your mind trick ain't gonna work on me. I love Bib Fortuna. I like some of those lines. I will take you to Jabba now.
Oh, he's another one. Oh, just to clarify, he is the one with the
he's
another one.
Jabba's friend.
I remember watching that when I was a kid. I do vividly remember this, and he showed up, and first of all, this is a time when Harry Potter came out. And I thought he reminded me, not with the head thing obviously, but his face reminded me of Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, no, he's terrifying.
Yeah, this guy I was like, I don't want to ever see you. I don't want your face near me.
I also love that he's in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
He shows up when Jabba comes up to to start the race, and you see him there. And his cousin, actually, Biza Fortuna, is in Saw Gerrera's little hangout there in Rogue One.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's cool. His cousin, so that's cool. But he died, I guess, on Jeddah. So
everyone did.
Everyone did. So
actually, I have a trivia, and I want to tell you guys in case you don't know. Diego Luna, obviously Cassian from Rogue One.
I know what you're going
He just loves Jabba the Hutt.
But he pronounces it Yabba.
Yabba.
It's Yabba.
He's beautiful.
I want that Jabba the Hutt spin-off movie directed by Martin Scorsese. A Jabba the Hutt gangster movie.
I would totally be down for it.
Like The Godfather, directed by Martin Scorsese.
Yep.
We will return in 30 years for our review of The Force Awakens, which is coming up soon. So look out for that.
Yep.
And remember to subscribe if you haven't already for more movie stuff, because I do movie stuff.
He does.
And we will see you guys next time.
Fantastique.